What I see here is a group that if you kind of combine superpowers, will figure out a way to get into the future in a more cautious. Where do you see the biggest gap between this hype reality and where the agentic future really is?
We've enjoyed the hype phase of AI agents. I think we're going to be entering the fundamentals and utility phase soon.
My name is Sharon Weissman. I'm excited to be on this panel. AI, right? Am I right? And we have this beautiful panel. Toby, that's very sus. Very sus.
Yeah.
I love the rest though.
De-anonymized.
Okay. So why don't we start this way? Each of you, if you could introduce yourself, one word about the company, and then your claim to fame. It can be personal or professional.
Hello, everyone. Glad to be here. I'm George. I'm the head of the accelerator and strategic partnership lead at Zero Gravity Labs. And Zero Gravity is building the world's first decentralized AI operating system, which is going to sit on our own L1 EVM compatible chain. We have a large ecosystem of over 300 projects building with us, and happy to get into more details about what Zero G offers to the AI ecosystem. My claim to fame probably is being an early investor in AI16Z, the Eliza team. They're here. I got in at 100K market cap, so one of the first few wallets. And so, yeah, my wallet is doxed. Everyone knows me on chain through the wallet. But yeah, that's my claim to fame. I'm still anonymous a little bit. So yeah.
Thank you.
Now you know.
Hey everyone, I'm the founder and CEO of Heris. Heris is a decentralized AI cloud. We provide serverless access to the cutting-edge open source AI models and agents as a service. Everything is API first. You don't need to manage your GPUs to use AI, but instead easily plug in and use our decentralized AI cloud powered by distributed compute resources. We source that from deep-in partners, utilizing a global supply pool of GPUs to provide high quality and low cost compute for AI agents. Claim to fame. So we are building the first cloud MCP compatible agent framework. We just had a demo earlier today at another decentralized AI Day event, and we are going to showcase our platform very soon on social media. You can see how our agents interact with the cloud MCP ecosystem.
Congrats. Good luck.
Hello, everyone. I am Toby Skinner. I'm the CMO of Nubula. We are a decentralized deep-in network of weather stations. I have one in my hand here. And we just launched a weather AI agent that takes all the weather data that we're collecting, and thanks to ElizaOS and IoTeX and their Bino AI, we take that data and make it into very actionable insights for individuals and businesses.
Beautiful.
Gosh, claim to fame. You guys went professional. I guess I'll stick to professional. I worked and grew the first ever weather website called Weather Underground. So I've been in the weather industry for a while. We were day one partners with Apple launching the App Store, which makes me a dinosaur. Some of you probably weren't born. You were born into the App Store, but yeah.
That's very cool. So we have data, we have framework, and then we have the guys that sharpen their pencils in order to course correct. What I see here is a group that if you kind of combine superpowers, will figure out a way to get into the future in a more cautious and strategic way. So really being the agentic foundations, you're building blocks for the system. Zero G with speed, Jurist with compute, Nubula with data. What is the one ingredient you all think will make agents truly autonomous? And how do your pieces either fit or fight in this puzzle?
It's a great question. So the way Zero Gravity approaches AI agents is that there needs to be a checks and balances in place, and there needs to be a provenance. And so we want to be able to show in a transparent way what data these agents are using, what data the models are trained on. And in order for agents to actually be autonomous, a lot of the barriers have to be removed. And we think at the infrastructure level that the barriers are mainly with data storage, along with fine-tuning and inferencing and the training process. And so Zero Gravity is working on both of those aspects. We have the cheapest data storage network on the decentralized method, with costs up to 80% less than AWS. And then with our decentralized serving framework, we're able to do inferencing and fine-tuning for these AI agents, agentic data, decentralized LLMs. All of these guys can tap into this serving framework to do that. And so we're reducing the friction for infrastructure integration into the agentic space. And I think that's step one or step zero before we even talk about autonomous agents.
So from my perspective, so since Heuris is building an API-first infrastructure, so the language or the interface that AI agents interact with each other is through API by default. So that means AI agents can easily access the resources from a global network. We don't want people to use traditional web or application interface anymore, but every agent is accessible with a simple API, and then people can, or either people, human, or other agents can easily access the superpower of other agents through API. Then that enables agents to be autonomous in the way that whenever it requires some resources to perform its analysis or to perform any actions, it can easily use the API provided by other agents, and then our agent network will become a modular and composable global network, enabling a global network of autonomous agents.
Building a track while the bullet train is speeding up, huh?
That's a good analogy.
Toby, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think definitely the secret ingredient for us for making it our agent autonomous is probably the decentralized data layer and the storage, that thanks to our good partners over there, OG Labs. So yeah, I think right now we see the long-term real value is working with businesses and helping them understand the impact of the environmental data on their business, so we can interact with our securely with our decentralized data layer with proprietary databases of businesses to analyze historical weather, as well as kind of looking ahead at forecasting how weather's going to impact, whether it's their revenue, their energy costs, all their expenses, their logistical resources. We can interact and really kind of collaborate with businesses. We all know all these businesses are going to be they're all going to have their own AI agents running their business, and we're going to be able to fit seamlessly and interact with them.
Yeah, you're almost a translator. There's so many love languages out there, and data can be manipulated in so many ways. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So riddle me this. Where do you see the biggest gap between this hyped reality and where the agentic future really is?
I can answer that. From our perspective, we've enjoyed the hype phase of AI agents. I think we're going to be entering the fundamentals and utility phase soon, if not already there. I think there is a gap between building something that actually needs to be on chain versus doesn't need to be on chain.
Amen.
Majority of these AI agent projects don't need to be on chain at all, and they're just using the on chain for monetization, incentivization, and these things which are not inherently needed. I think going forward, we're going to be able to showcase real blockchain utility through agents, and they're going to serve a real need for all of the customers and all the users. And so we are partnering. We have over 10 to 15 agents, like utility agents, that we're going to be showcasing as we prepare for our mainnet. So you guys can stay tuned for that. There's going to be agents that are yield seeking. And there's agents that are going to help with OTC stuff. There's going to be health agents. research agents, travel agents. There's going to be so many real utility agents. Thankfully, they've come to Zero G to build with us. And so even the weather, for example, we can have a weather agent, right, that uses decentralized input from across the globe for weather data. And then we can orchestrate it through an agent, and then that agent can sit on your phone and then actually give you advice. And then you can monetize that as well. But a lot of it really, really cool utility agents are coming out soon. And I think that's where the future is. And I think those are the ones that will actually last through the hype bull and bear markets.
So from my perspective, many agents builders are developing the same features over and over again. Like for an agent to do research, you get access to internet data. For an agent to like actively trade crypto assets, it needs access to like market data. So all those resulting redundancy of unnecessary work for those agent builders, and also every agent live in siloed instances of like AWS or centralized service providers that are easily getting censored, and also limited access to those agents. For how blockchain is going to help agents, basically providing a transparent environment, enabling the agents to collaborate with each other. And part of our Heroes Agent Framework's vision is enabling agents to be modular. One agent's ability becomes another agent's strength. So people won't need to build the same features again, but can easily tap into our abundance of supply of highly specialized utility agents to perform some tasks like gathering data and analyzing and deriving insights from data. Those fundamental units, when we call it an agent node in Heroes Mesh. It's like a mesh network of specialized agents, like allowing people can easily tap into the superpower of
Super agent.
Yeah, super agent network, and easily accessible, composable. So that will enable more complex use cases to be built at ease.
Fantastic. Toby, any answer?
Yeah, I mean, from our standpoint, as a Web2 dinosaur that's worked in the weather industry a long time, right? We're disrupting an established, mature market. Businesses have actually been using weather data for a very long time, but it was a very manual process in understanding the impact of weather.
Let's face it, Mother Nature is a fickle bitch.
Yeah, it sure
It's been changing a
Yeah,
lot.
exactly.
Something needs to give.
Yeah, so what AI and blockchain does is just transform the speed at which we can transform data into action. Just look at forecasting, weather forecasting. When I worked at Weather Underground, we had third-party verify. We had the most accurate local forecasts because of our network of data. It took 6 hours to run a forecast. So by the time the forecast model is run, it's 6 hours old. It takes less than a minute for these advanced AI forecasting models, of which we're developing our own. But that translates also into the AI agent and how we can kind of interact with businesses' own proprietary data, and what could have taken a month of a data science team kind of correlating performance data from a business with weather. Our AI agent can do it in minutes.
That's mind-boggling. I'm going to do something here. I'm going to shuffle the energy and move here because you already got into routine and started answering one after another.
No, I sat here for a reason.
Shuffle the energy. So speaking of energy, for the second segment, let's talk about the agentic horizon. Okay, so fast forward, everyone, you too, sir, fast forward. Let's fast forward a few years from now, maybe a decade. What's one mind-bending future where agents run wild, like reshaping economies or cities? And could your tech team up, three of you, in a way to get us there?
Yeah. Wow. Okay. I guess it's my turn to go first.
You got it.
I mean, from Nubula's standpoint, like weather data is just the beginning of the environmental data that we want to collect. So whether it's going to be pollen, air quality, soil moisture. The kind of sci-fi, outlook is that these future cities will have so many sensors that they're almost like a living autonomous being in itself. And based on environmental factors, whether it's through a transport system or the irrigation of the municipal parks, like everything will run and be optimized kind of autonomously. And I guess,
I'm going to challenge
again,
you
the data.
guys. Yeah, let's go to data because that kind of overlaps there. Challenge you to think, how do you combine superpowers in a way so we all get there?
Yeah, absolutely. I can just narrate an example that will likely happen if us three work together in our companies. So we have great weather data from Nebula. What we can do is take that data and host it on zero-G storage nodes. We can build a model, okay? And the model would require training, which we can also provide at zero gravity. And then we can do the compute aspect of it with the serverless GPUs from Hurist. And then what happens is this predictive model can actually be incorporated into Polymarket or a betting platform, and you can actually trade, corn yield, or you can trade, on predictions on, what's the yield going to be on barley or coffee beans and things like that, based on what weather would be. And these agents can compete with each other, and based on the data and based on how well trained these agents are, the winner will take actual profit share from the competition. And so imagine you get to go to a marketplace and you say, my weather agent can actually predict crop yield in the future, and it actually does it to this much accuracy. You can actually put real money behind that agent, and you can make money off of that.
I love that answer, and I'm happy that we finally touched on monetization because that is super important. You were very optimistic in your previous answers, but I think the agents that will survive will be the agents that can monetize, right? And that's really, fortunately, unfortunately, where we are. Do you want to take that?
Yeah, I'm really excited about the brainstorming that are going on right now. Like from weather data, we are talking about climate. We are talking about autonomous system that can predict weather, and it can collect helpful scientific data to improve our research. So like those models can be trained and improve humans' lives. Like climate change, definitely a big issue we are facing right now, and I hope to see that blockchain will enable those agentic systems that can tackle the problem of climate change by using developing agents, using models, and particularly trading. Because right now the trading in the crypto industry is typically considered as a not saying that bad, but considered a negative sum for the society, because right now a lot of the exchanges, trading systems are net extracting value out of the system. But what if we let autonomous agents to run those trading or prediction market system, and then the value they extracted become internalized, they stay within the system, and then these funds are better utilized by the hands of agents instead of by the hands of human, because the agents can reinvest the funds, the trading fees is earned, the listing fee, if there's ever going to be listing fee by those agentic exchanges, it's going to reinvest into this agentic system. Like we can use that to train better models. We can use that to solve scientific research problems, to generate new knowledge, to make the actual world better. Like starting from the weather data, we are talking about making the earth better from the trading fees out of it. That's wild.
I like that approach because in the end of the day, we're also here to demystify a lot of things that weren't public knowledge, or we couldn't get that data ourselves or mind it in a way where we can translate it to the masses. Okay, we're running out of time. Risk and rewards. Agentic systems, could soar or crash. Chaos, bias, whatever that is. What's the one risk you're all facing? Be honest. And how could your combined approaches dodge or embrace that?
Yeah, I think the biggest risk for agents that run loose is malicious agents, right? And so there could be incentives for people to do malicious data injection or to train an agent to become a bad actor within a broader ecosystem, especially in the DeFi ecosystem. If you can get an agent to manipulate Oracle price feeds, you can actually cause liquidations and take revenue. If you have, for example, decentralized LLMs that are using decentralized data points, if there is an agent sitting in between that and can, insert false or incorrect or misleading data, what would happen is the outputs would be incorrect or skewed in a way.
Trains derailing.
Trains derailing, exactly. And so how do we prevent that? So Zero Gravity released the alignment nodes, AI alignment nodes. It was a very successful node sale. We raised around $35 million. And what those nodes do is basically they detect malicious data injection. They also detect model drift, which is a common phenomenon during the training process. And they also check and make sure that the other nodes and other actors within the ecosystem are in alignment. And so alignment is a major issue as well when you talk about AI and training. And I think, solving that is a big, even a Web 2 problem. And now Web 3 is coming to solve it with Zero Gravity.
Yeah, in a way, compliance, right? All the webs are mirroring each other, and we have to make sure that, it all makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's kind of macro risk to the bad agents in AI or just bad usage of AI, but I think blockchain actually helps rein that in. Just this week, OG, and I've spoken to a bunch of new projects, kind of doing privacy layers, and blockchain enables us to fight against these bad agents.
More transparency and origin.
Yeah, so I think it helps mitigate that risk, the long-term risk, the coming together of AI and Web3.
That makes sense. You have anything to add?
So I'm going to talk about monopoly of power, centralization of power. I think even in the blockchain system, the agents, it's also possible for agents to evolve into a monopoly where there's no competition, where there's a single winner taking all. So we are envisioning a future where the infrastructure for building agents are decentralized enough. There are multiple compute systems, there are multiple frameworks, there are multiple very diverse data sources for agent builders to choose from. I don't think agents should be following one same pattern to be built, but we need diversity just like Ethereum needs client diversity. So agents need diversity in its compute and data sources, in its framework choices, and in its target audiences. Like those, definitely there will be agents dedicated to one community or one ethnic group rather than the for everyone alike. So the diversity is pretty important for me.
Segregation of power. Very good. Maybe I ran out of juice. I don't know. Okay. Thanks, Toby. Okay. In one sentence, agentic future, what is the win? In 5 years from now, what's the big win we're all celebrating in the room?
So I would say multi-agent frameworks and multi-agent like swarms and things like that. I think that's going to be, coming up soon. I don't know if it's 5 years or 1 year or 2 years, but we're really bullish on that narrative because we don't think one agent is sufficient, and we don't believe in generalized agents per se. We think specific agents, tailor-made and trained for specific tasks, is amazing. And we are working on different verticals with that in gaming, DeFi, DePIN, RWA. But then what we want to do, and this is what the Zero-G storage network does, is it allows agents to share memories with each other. It allows agents to share data and files with each other. And you can create a multi-agent system which can go ahead and then tackle a task. And I think that is where agentic future is going, where agents are going to cooperate with each other. They're going to interact with each other. They're going to learn from each other, just like how humans do the same thing. We go to school, we learn from the teacher, but we also learn from each other. And so I think there's going to be a diverse set of agents who are specifically trained across different domains, and then they will work together and they will accomplish bigger tasks than they could have done alone.
Yeah, I can double down on that. Like, I am pretty certain that the areas in the world that have really poor access to weather data have also got poor access to Wi-Fi. So just looking at our world of DeepIn, Helium, and other kind of network DeepIn projects can just collaborate so easily. We need Wi-Fi to transmit data from our weather stations, and there's a huge socioeconomic disparity in access to Wi-Fi and good weather data. So, there's just so much collaboration that lies ahead.
Fair enough.
Yeah, there will be agents passing Turing tests in all domains, and people won't be surprised anymore. They will think it's natural for agent to outsmart human, and then human can continue to enjoy lives and brainstorm wild ideas while agent do
we
the
could just
actual
go
work.
dance.
Sorry to cut you off. Okay, guys. From infra to agents, thanks Zero G, Pura, and Nubula. Thanks ETH Denver. Thanks Anchor. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks you guys for being here. Stick around for the last panel.
Thank you.